You're listening to episode 335 of the Major Issues Podcast, and on this episode, Crisis Alert, we're here to cover part 2 of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. The Major Issues Podcast starts right now! Hello, everybody out there in comic book land. My name is George Serrano, aka The Don, and if you're listening to this, you can only be here for one reason, and that's a brand new episode of the Major Issues Podcast, brought to you each and every week by ComicBookClique.com. And as always, I am never alone. Sir, if you could please introduce yourself.
What up, everybody? It's John Escudero here, aka Yogi. What up?
Yogi is here. Oh, it's a monumentous occasion. Both of us seemingly rising from the dead because for some strange reason, both of us were in bad health earlier this week and just managed to kick out at 2 so we could do this episode of the podcast. I would be remiss if I also didn't mention that today is Yogi's birthday. And it also reminded me that we are 30 days apart. I'm May 13th. You're June 13th.
You were born waiting for me to be born. That's
I
what it was.
I was waiting, bro. I was waiting.
I'm here. I'm here now.
we are here now, and we are here to talk about Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, the second part of a 3-part series tackling one of the most seminal DC Comics, the first major crossover in comic book history. A heavy task this film had and still has, because it has a third part that still needs to be completed. Before we get into the nitty gritty of all this, talk to me about your anticipation of this 3-film story.
I don't want to spend too much time rehashing what you might have heard if you listened to part 1 of the Crisis on Infinite Earths podcast, which is available now. Everywhere podcasts are available. But
boom, boom.
Crisis on Infinite Earths is one of my favorite fucking stories ever. And it's not even like, I'm not even going to go to bat for it, but it's like one of the objective best stories of all time. No, it's just one of my favorite fucking comic book crossovers of all time. Sometimes it's an exposition machine, and sometimes it's kind of soulless, and there's 100 gazillion characters there, but that's exactly what I wanted, like, out of the crisis of all the multiverse. Like, I don't want to spend too much time. Like, you get one anchor character, right? You get one emotional anchor character, and everybody else needs to be fun and fodder. Like, I need a 16 Superman. Like, I want to have fun. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't want... Fuck. Yeah.
This is the excuse to play with all the toys. This is the excuse to do whatever the heck you want, because ultimately you are shaking the Etch-a-Sketch at the end of this, right? So it doesn't really
pretty much.
You can play with all kinds of character chemistry. You can change characters' motivations, and especially in this is supposed to be sort of a love letter, right, to DC animation as a whole. I felt like that's what it was sold to me as.
That's what it could have been. That's what it should have been. Who was behind this? No, we'll get into it. I don't want to get
Let's start the homework then. Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 is a 2024 animated superhero film acting as the second part of a trilogy adapting the event miniseries of the same name. Set in the Tomorrowverse, it continues the story of the Justice League battling the forces of the Anti-Monitor and is based on the DC Comics storyline Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was published between 1985 and 1986, written by Marv Wolfman and penciled by the late, great George Perez. The film is directed by Jeff Wamster from a script by Jim Craig and was released on April 23rd, 2024. I feel like already the misnomer is calling this Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, right?
It's one of those, okay, I didn't have a problem with it because it's one of those things that today's marketing that's like everything has a subtitle. So they saw Crisis on Infinite Earths and decided it would be a great subtitle. You know, like... I don't know what the fuck it is about. I guess there's some logic behind it, but I'm not a business. Like, I don't have a business associate or anything like that, or fucking degree. So I don't
Right,
know,
right.
but I have noticed that's what they like to do.
It kind of reminded me of when they did Justice League Dark, and they were like, "We need Batman in this. We need him all over the cover. We need him."
I guess it's probably some of that, but like, who are you selling this to? Like, there's no fucking dedicated Tomorrowverse fan base that you're selling this movie to. So like, you're just selling this to DC fans. You're just selling this to comic book fans. You're selling this to people who watch the movies. You're not what I don't know, man.
I'm
You're
gonna look it. I'm gonna look it
you're
up
not
because, like,
obligated to anchor this to whatever Tomorrowverse shit you have going on or fit it around those fucking parameters. You could have just Crisis on Infinite Earths the shit out of this.
so there's been nine, counting this film. Tomorrowverse films, starting with Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Then it went to Justice League World War II, Batman: The Long Halloween 1 and 2, Green Lantern: Beware My Power. And I feel like a lot of this stuff was already kind of grating on people, right? Because when they did Green Lantern and how Jordan became like,
Did we
like
do an episode about that? Because that
yeah,
would
we
have tore
did.
that shit to
We
fucking
did, but you
shreds.
weren't on it. I think GT was on it.
Poor GT. I fucking had to deal with that
Huge Green
shit.
Lantern fan, huge John Stewart fan. All to come around and how Jordan is like some crazy hobo.
I'm a fucking maniac.
Absolutely, absolutely crazy stuff. Of all nine films, all of them have been directed by either Chris Palmer or James. I hope I'm saying his name right. Wamster. Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and the two Batman films were Chris, and everything else was Jeff. So
I I mean, to talk about the Tomorrowverse as a whole for a second, I can't say that it's got the best. It was the best DC universe of anything. Honestly, it was a
yeah,
little dry
right.
in some places. It didn't have any flavor, so to speak. I think the one I liked the most was probably the Justice Society one, and
Yeah,
and it was. You know, it was just a Justice Society story with the Flash from the future there, and that's
yeah.
probably why. Like, it wasn't worried about Tomorrowverse bullshitting whatever legendary story we're fucking claiming this movie's about to be.
Who would have thought just literally using the big events as a roadmap would work so well for the administration before this one, right? Like they were just going origin,
Yeah.
Atlantis, just
Fill in the
hitting the
blanks
big ones.
yourself. Let's go. Let's
Yeah, just
go. He's got a son now. There's a Batman son. Let's go.
yeah,
I
just fleshing out that world. This world doesn't feel fleshed out, and Crisis to me has always felt like almost in a similar sense with a Flashpoint, in a case of emergency, break glass kind of situation. Like
they
this has gone way too crazy. Smash, restart, and it's like
they were
we haven't done
they
anything to
were
restart anything.
they were I know that they felt that this Tomorrowverse wasn't fleshed out enough because they tried to tie this crisis to the more fleshed out DC universe that came before Tomorrowverse by
Yeah,
putting in John Constantine as pariah. And
right.
it's not enough. It doesn't feel like this is the culmination of everything that's happened so far. They're not even anchoring us to characters from the Tomorrowverse. They're spending time making new ones.
Yeah,
Why the fuck are we spending time filling in new backstories? This is a culmination, the ending. I don't need to be introduced to Psycho Pirate. I don't need to be given a brand new Supergirl origin. Motherfucker, it takes 3 minutes. She just got to Earth after Clark, and he's older than her. Done.
yeah.
Why the fuck we spend 40 minutes on bullshit? This is not Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is a crisis of identity. That's what this
Yeah.
film is having. This is
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm so
Yeah,
angry.
no, you're right 100%. Especially when it comes to this not having an anchor. We're going to go into a full recap and review in a bit, but even as it starts, I'm like, where are we? What are we doing? None of this is explained. And I'm like, I think I remember when we last left off, we built a bunch of towers and Barry died. and Iris was old, I think.
I used my knowledge of the original story to kind of fool me. Like, okay, well, where would they have been? Like, I know we got the towers up, but we didn't destroy more Earths. That's why I was like, because I know in the main book you get the towers up, and then you think everything's good, but then more Earths get destroyed, and there's only 5 left, and you got to merge them all together. I know that, so I was like, okay, well, we haven't got to the big merge thing at the end yet, so I figured we were at that part. And that was me having to use my previously existing knowledge to pull
Yeah.
myself into this movie because we were busy telling stories about bullshit.
Not only that, but this story is primarily dominated. This part of the story, at the very least, is primarily dominated by the Monitor and the Psycho Pirate, both speaking in a monotone, monotone voice for long stretches, long speeches. At one point, the very first time I watched this, it was incredibly hard to stay engaged. The second time became a bit easier because I had to take notes to figure this whole thing out. And even then, a scene will play out for 3 minutes before we just cut to a whole nother part. And I think it's a cheap way of making it seem like it had depth. I think if you would have told this story directly, all the Psycho Pirate stuff and then all the Supergirl stuff, you would realize how thin this film actually is.
I feel like that's a horrible, horrible lack of confidence in the DC universe itself. This idea that you have to create this fucking thing for us to attach to. Everybody and their mother knows Superman, knows Batman, knows Wonder Woman, knows what the fuck the Justice League is. Literally off the premise. You could just be, boom, we're the Justice League. You take 15 minutes, they have a meeting in the morning. I don't know, they have some coffee. Hey, Diana, slap her on the ass. I don't fucking know. They're friends. We've been friends. I don't care. You don't need 40 minutes. You don't need half the film because we did the same shit in the first one. We spent half the film giving the Justice League an origin. It's the fucking Justice
they
League,
were fighting and stuff. Yeah, I forgot.
What are you talking about? Like, why did you think we?
It's already in the box. All the batteries are already there.
What are we doing? What are we doing? We've done 75 minutes twice now, and we've only got like 5 fucking minutes of crisis content. I didn't like the first movie, but after the second one, I think I hate these movies.
That was one of the things you said to me off air right when you finished it. You said, I think I hate this now. And again, it just feels aimless, even when I have personal knowledge of what the aim is. I feel like I have personal knowledge of where this is going, and it still feels like it's going nowhere, which is a very strange feeling to have.
Honestly, I feel bad for people who don't know any better because they're probably like, oh, it was just fine. And I'm like, I'm glad for you. But even if you never fucking read Crisis, does it not feel weird that we should spend half the movie in the past of the Psycho Pirate and none of that shit matters? None of it. Not a fucking second of that Psycho Pirate being fleshed out mattered in the story. None of it came around. He just ended up just being Psycho Pirate. Like, oh, hey, I met the Anti-Monitor. Okay, what the fuck?
Were we supposed to glean something from the Aquaman of it all with that, too? Like, they put a seed of, like...
They implied he was the reason for Flashpoint. Like, Flashpoint. Because remember, Flashpoint Universe... In Flashpoint Universe, Atlantis joins up, right? They're like weird. It's like something that
I thought it was supposed to, to my knowledge, from my memory, I guess, it was the Atlanteans and the Themyscirans joined to have a truce.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. The Atlanteans and the Themyscirans.
Yeah,
I thought it was the Nazis for some reason.
No, but then when the queen sleeps with when the queen of Themyscira sleeps with the king of Atlantis, and Mira finds out, she tries to step, and then she gets her head cut off, and then it becomes war. But yeah, I completely missed the Nazi part of it all. Maybe it was the high and tight. They saw the high and tight with Aquaman.
Racist? Is that racist? Is it racist? I think it is a little bit, at least.
Let's get into all this. We can give it the proper whooping it deserves.
Don't mind me looking at my phone, you people out there. I need to share this stream to people.
No, 100%. And also, I'm giving a spoiler alert to all those because we're about to get into all that this film is. But I reckon, even if I didn't give you a spoiler alert, you would have no idea what's going on as I describe it. This will not change your enjoyment if you have not seen this film. Again, this is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, and here we go. So, our film begins in an alternate Gotham, where their versions of the Joker has infected Jim Gordon, killing him. Batman arrives on scene, but it's too late, and the Joker makes himself known by arriving in a tank. Again, I'm watching this
Was
thing
this
and I'm
Mark
like,
Hamill,
what?
by the way? Was that Mark
I,
Hamill?
it sounded like him, but
It
I
did.
don't think Batman was Kevin.
No, no, because I know Kevin Conroy is specifically supposed to be like that Batman,
Right,
but
right.
this one sounded so much like Mark Hamill, this
Yeah,
Joker.
he did. Um, So yeah, he just shows up in a tank. He's not alone. We're introduced to a version of Killer Croc and Solomon Grundy, who set their sights on the Cape Crusader. What's worse, the Joker, being a being of chaos, is trying to destroy the quantum tower of this Earth, aka its one line of defense against the antimatter wave that's destroying the multiverse. Luckily, Batman is joined by members of the Bat family of that Earth, including Robin, Huntress, Batgirl, Batman Beyond, and Damian Wayne's Robin. We learned that the Justice Society is trying to locate Flash after he's gone missing following the events of the previous film. Batman is on this Earth because the tower is in Gotham, and he feels a responsibility to the city in any universe.
What does that even mean, bro?
I
Anyway, that's
don't
fine. I'm
know.
not gonna pick that apart because that's just that's just superhero shit. Batman that feels that he's
But
horny for
what
God.
conversation
Fine.
is had in that moment? Oh, where's the one on Earth 38? Oh, it's in Gotham. It's in where? send me there, right? Well, there's 5 in Gotham. Well, I don't know. Just send me that one.
Send me the one that's closest to mine. Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of weird? But Diana does the same thing, right? I'm gonna go save
And
those
oh,
Demascarans.
by the way, by the way, where did this Damien come from?
Why is this in the same Batman Beyond universe? Why?
Okay, fine.
Like,
Multiverse,
is there a son
multiverse,
and
right? Multiverse, fine, right? But saying instead of spending time bullshitting with the Psycho Pirate and Supergirl, we could have shown Damien come out of Portal or something like, "Hey, oh, what's going on? Hey, oh, you're Batgirl. Oh man, this is where we all come from. We're the Bat Family, but we're not." We would have spent 20 minutes fleshing a Bat Family out. We'd have had a fucking incredible moment here.
And this was one of the images teased. It was like, look at the Bat family together, something you haven't seen
But
since
look at them.
Bad Blood.
Look at them. Look at them. Why does she look like that, bro? What is going on here?
I guess now's the time to talk about it. Yogi, how do you feel about the artwork in this animation style?
I put this behind me. I put it ironically because I fucking hate this. What's going on with Damien's head right here? This is a still scene, folks. These people were not moving when I took this screenshot. All right, why is that happening? What's that? What is up with her face?
He
What's
has a
going
shadow on
here?
half of his face, but also somehow horizontally on his chest. So where's the light coming from?
I hate this. There was so much effort put into Barbara's body that they forgot to fix her face up here.
Yeah.
Batman Beyond ends up fucking. We'll talk about that later because my problems with him are not the art style, but the art style for the whole Tomorrowverse has been weird Archer style bullshit, and it's the cheapest fucking animation that they ever have presented to me on a DC animated film. This whole Tomorrowverse is garbage. Even those Ruby, RWBY, Justice League crossovers had better animation than this, and that was fucking CG trash. This is bad. This is not even. I don't even have an excuse for it anymore. I used to think, well, maybe it's because they're gonna do so much and that we need cheaper animation so that we can have cooler scenes. But this was the lamest, most fucking static bullshit. Even the fight scenes, bullshit.
What's bonkers about it is that growing up, it was DC animation that was being innovative, that was doing like 3D and computer generated 3D and regular art styles. The dark deco of Batman the Animated Series, starting off with a black screen and then adding things and elements from that. They've always kind of been innovative in that space, and it's just quite strange that they would play it safe now. They've been known for being innovators.
It breaks my heart so much watching this, seeing this lack of effort, this paint by number, this assignment that they gave to somebody who didn't want to do it, came up with their own fucking bullshit because they probably didn't even understand the source material. It was probably too dense for them. This was a damn shame. This is almost an insult.
I can see it being all those things because as we're having this conversation, the thought in my mind occurs. Could you imagine if this film would have started off in the Bruce Timm verse?
Bro,
And it was that Justice League trying to stop the tower, and then instantly you're like, oh, like nothing happens to this world, please. You know, instantly.
Right. You don't even have to take time. Like, you don't need to take any time introducing them. They're the damn Justice League. We know them. We grew up with them. And then all these other weird fucking versions of the characters who show up. You can have an asshole Batman. This Batman's a piece of shit. This Batman right here. This guy, I can't even fucking see him. He's a garbage. He's fucking
but again,
trash.
He's only ever done Long Halloween. So he's only ever done serial killer dramas.
He's supposed to be like Batman. That's not like a Batman. Like if it's a Batman, always that's Batman. And he's only been at this for 3 minutes. And this whole crisis is happening to him, and he's fucked up about it. I'm glad
he's so miserable.
Is this
so miserable? No, because as the momentum begins, right? We're getting ready. Yeah, we're getting ready. But elsewhere, in a dark room, I'm calling him the Psycho Pirate now, even though they spent the entire film waiting for him to get the damn name. I'm gonna call him it now. Han Solo. I finally became the pirate. I finally became the pirate I was always meant to be.
What are you, some kind of psychotic pirate?
What is this? Some sort of Suicide Squad? So
fucking hate this.
The psycho pirate taunts a disheveled man who is strapped to a chair. Calling the stranger doctor, he begins to tell his story. He was born a normal boy named Charles Halstead and considered himself a loner. He had immense empathetic abilities, not only sensing the emotions around him, but also had the ability to amplify those same emotions back at people. Back with the pirate, he recalls being sent away. This is because at first I separated all this, and then I said, nah, and I just jammed it all together so we can get through the origins bullshit. So he recalls being sent away to boarding school and being viciously bullied there. After a while, he learned how to use his powers, and he made a kid kill another one. As his control grew stronger, he began to take over the school person by person.
Did you realize that they had to put him in an all-boys school because the implications of what he could do to other girls is
I didn't even think about that.
I thought about it immediately because I'm probably fucked up in the head.
Right.
But I was like, all-boys school, and when he made one of them take their pants off and jerk off in front of the class.
I think he's a little sassy. I think this psycho pirate's a little sassy.
Like, that was the clear implication, right? Like he took his pants off and he started playing with his wiener in front of the class.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I think
at that point,
I was like, what? That's why
anything. And
that's what made me realize, like, oh well, they didn't play any girls in the class because of this. But I'm like, but he still does like horrible things.
Oh yeah, so he can't do anything sexist. So he's about to do all the racist shit he possibly can.
And he can do it to other men though. Like it's cool, bro.
Are those men on there? Oh, yeah, we're clear.
It's fine. It's PG, and that's not one of my issues.
And also, this Pride Month, I ain't got no beef with Psycho Pirate being a different kind of way. I'm just saying, regardless of where you go on, don't force nobody to do nothing.
I don't like that he has to be called pirate because that was a bad term. Like,
yes. I did not even think about that. If he and this was actually called Psycho Butt Pirate, this would have turned into a whole nother. It would have turned into a whole nother film.
He had the teachers all like hang themselves, and then he had like the kids were.
Well, that's the thing. He says that he said his control grew stronger. He took over the school. Police were sent to investigate the school during World War II. During that,
what they
while
had
that's
time
going
to
on.
do. Actually, that's.
And then they find all the adults hanging, and Charles is in charge of all the students. And then it just like
Charles in charge.
It doesn't say what happens next. It doesn't say if he got arrested or what happens next. It's like, ooh, spooky. It's like a Children of the Corn kind of moment.
Yeah.
Flash forward, he eventually joins World War II on the side of the Nazis and would use his powers to force his victims to celebrate as he sunk their ships. Again, too much detail for somebody that
exactly. Like, I get it. Okay, he's a villain. He's a pirate. Oh, I think
Bullied
he
people, bully people. I got that
bullied.
when he killed the kid early on.
Exactly.
That was
He,
it.
we spend so much time, brother. He put it all together into one segment, but this was sprinkled throughout the entire film. It's psycho pirate origin, 5 minutes of fucking crisis, maybe, or
Yeah.
the Supergirl monitor story. Those are the two that went back and forth with psycho pirate origin, Supergirl monitor story. A glimpse at some crisis action.
I was also getting some major Beauty and the Beast from the Supergirl and the monitor stuff.
Well,
It's
again,
like, you can't leave.
and again,
Eat
what
with
was
me.
the point? And what was the point of this? Like, she's Supergirl. Why does there need to be this fucking father-daughter relationship that they literally shoehorned into the
Never
point where
had.
they had to retcon the previous Tomorrowverse movie to fit their new
Right.
story? Like,
What about
oh
the?
my god.
Oh, let's finish Psycho Pirate. So, Nazis. One day his ship was torn apart in a storm, so he forces all the other soldiers on the lifeboat with him to jump overboard for some reason. Using his powers, he reaches out and is saved by Aquaman's men and brought before the king himself. Once in Atlantis, he turns the king's army against him and takes control over Arthur Curry. From there, from his words, Charles created an alliance between the Nazis and Atlantis. Something that not only is never explained but never shown, and I can't remember any instance of. I'm like, does this go back to the World War II Flash thing? But I'm like,
You
I
have to
don't think
Google
so.
it. Did you Google it? I didn't get to
No.
Google it, but I wish I would have, because that's got to be something. Why the fuck is
If
that?
I can't remember from my own memory, then that's not good enough. Because I saw the World War II film and they did not do anything. We snap back to present day, where Pirate tells the stranger that he was told the doctor had something for him, and that's why he's there. He asks what it is, but gets no answer.
It is from the fucking World War II.
World War II thing?
It's from
The
Justice
Justice
Society.
Society?
Yeah.
Aquaman was a
That's-
Nazi?
Yeah, he was. That's so weird. So dumb.
Tell me we didn't touch on that one. We definitely recorded an episode on that.
I feel like we did. I have the fucking 4K somewhere.
And I also feel like that's something I would remember. Like I would be like, oh yeah, what the hell? Anyway.
Yeah.
He asks what it is. He gets no answer. Suddenly, the stranger perks up and begins talking to Psycho Pirate in a calm manner. Pirate threatens the man with an iron poker, but the stranger casts a spell to make him disappear. The stranger reveals himself to be Dr. Fate, and adorned with the helmet of Naboo, he gives the pirate the gift to be able to travel between realities, saying he has a role to play in the crisis to come. After a huge wave of light, the stranger is back in the chair, seemingly dead.
What is that? Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
I
Might have been
thought I
Dr.
muted it.
Fate. It might have been Dr. Fate. What? Can you explain any of this to me? Can you explain any of why Dr. Fate is being restrained? If he was going to, on purpose, give Psycho Pirate these powers, why does he feel like he needs to give Psycho Pirate these powers? Is he like on a level of the Spectre, where he's trying to like play 4D chess? Does the Spectre know what's going on here?
They're implying that they're putting pieces in play on purpose. Like the Dr. Fate was supposedly not even in the room at the time. He was out exploring the multiverse, and then he came back and took this body and left. But now I'm wondering if it has a connection to a Tomorrowverse movie that I didn't care enough about to fucking remember the details.
I read the Long Halloween.
There's an obvious connection. The Psycho Pirate thing actually came up like in the Justice Society movie. Like, and I don't remember it at all. No, I don't remember that at all. But yeah, at the end of that movie, Arthur gets freed from Psycho Pirate's mind control, and he's like shocked and disgusted at what's happened.
They've put that now. They went back and retroactively
gaslighting
and added that scene because
they're fucking gaslighting.
If I told you that, apropos of nothing, I was like, "Yo, you remember that part where Psycho Pirate takes away his control over Nazi Aquaman?" You'd be like, "What? What are you talking about?" But yeah, all of this just felt contrived. Just like, and then the stranger becomes somebody, and then he's like, "I know you almost tried to kill me, but here's more power, and I'm gonna leave now." Just very confusing. Didn't make any sense.
I'm gonna have to go backwards and see because I like so many of these things felt like they were out of nowhere, but now the psychopirate thing has me second guessing. Has me
All of it.
second guessing
But
all of it.
but but this isn't like Infinity War or Endgame, where they are going to seminal moments that you remember and go, oh, the Infinity War and Endgame were doing callbacks to films 8 years prior to that. We've only had 4 years of the Tomorrowverse. Why can't I remember what the hell happened? I don't know.
It's because it sucked. It's
That
because
this
it
is
didn't leave enough of an impact to actually become a moment in your brain. It's what it really is.
yeah. Yeah. So, next we witness the destruction of a version of Krypton as the Monitor traverses space in his spaceship. He finds Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, nearly dying in a damaged spacecraft and brings it on board to his. The Monitor attempts to feed and communicate with Supergirl, and his robo-companion suggests eating alongside her to foster trust, and he does. As they eat, Kara questions who she is and where she came from, but the Monitor tells her she can go home after she helps him with his work. I need it to be stated that I grouped all of the Monitor and Supergirl stuff together, but you have to, as you're watching this, every time Kara asks a question to Monitor, he'll say something like, don't worry, or like, that answer will come soon. And then we cut to Psycho Pirate. We don't cut to like a better scene. We don't cut to like another group. We don't cut to the main heroes on the main space station as they're actively, like later we go to Mr. Terrific and he's doing all this kind of stuff and Dr. Light's trying to figure this whole thing out. When we don't get there to like the third act, it's playing tennis
It's
between these two scenes.
frustrating. It's what it is. It's frustrating. Like, okay, I would have given them the Supergirl Monitor thing because, okay, well, like in the first movie where I thought they were going to use the Flash as an anchor character, but they did it
Yeah,
for a total other thing. Maybe they would have done it with Supergirl because Supergirl and Flash have the only two emotional moments in the damn story in the original one. So I would have given them Supergirl if we didn't have to deal with the fucking Psycho Pirate stuff. That really, really ruined the movie for me. Like it
yeah.
took up so much real estate for stuff. So many other things we could have done. Oh fuck.
And ultimately, he kind of be in the comic is like a pitiful character. Like he ultimately becomes a pathetic character.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they're giving him a lot of gravitas in the very beginning here. But bro, am I bullshitting? They make the Monitors like robot, like the fucking clock and the candle in Beauty and the Beast, where it's like, hey, you should be nicer to her. You should feed her. Go down there and talk to her, bro. Like she's right there. Go ahead. Go ahead. And then later on, she's wandering around and she's walking around the ship. She sees her damaged ship, and he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't go in there." The same exact shit for Beauty and the Beast. She finds out the secret, just like in Beauty and the Beast. She gets all fucking pissed off. But yeah, ultimately, Satellite is the name of his robo companion, which is also the name of the ship. You know what I'm saying? Also the name of the ship. So upon seeing her damaged ship, she suddenly remembers her home planet, becomes enraged when she finds out it's been destroyed. Betrayed, she confronts the Monitor, reading him a riot act over not interfering and saving Krypton from destruction. With no home to go to, Kara questions whether she's meant to be some sort of pet, as she's the last surviving Kryptonian, but the Monitor tells her there is another in this reality. Her cousin, as a matter of fact, Kal-El, although he warns her against interfering. She walks away angry.
Again.
Is there anything there? Anything you want to say?
This is all meant to fit her back into the continuity that she was already in. So like, maybe they teased that she belonged to the Monitor back then in the Supergirl, fucking Legion of Superheroes movie.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I didn't.
Was that under this?
Yeah, it's part of this. But I didn't.
Golly.
I didn't pick up on it at the time. It's just disappointing. At this point, I don't even know what to say about that part.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because she does talk a lot about the Legion, and I'm all like, what? And I forgot that they had a whole film.
A whole movie where she goes up there, she falls in love with Brainy.
Yeah, because later on they see her, and they're like, we're all dead, Kara. We're worse than
What
dead.
happened?
We're erased. Yeah. So, Monitor continues to witness as the antimatter wave ravages the multiverse. His assistant Satellite seems invested in Supergirl for some reason. He's really digging on Supergirl.
I know she's very pretty.
Yes,
very pretty blonde.
But the Monitor can't be bothered. And then he sees her fighting against the odds, and he's like, Yeah, I think I'm interested in her now.
Oh, he must have saw something jiggling. The fuck was out there?
Yeah, right. Zero G, baby. Speaking of Kara, she shows up at the Kent farm, but there's no one there. Satellite shows up and beams her back to the monitor ship, and she instantly brings the smoke to him. He tries to calm her down by that letting her know that he knows where Kal-El is, but he needs her help, as does the multiverse. He explains the antimatter wave and that Kara herself has motivated him to interfere. He places her in a machine and transfers a bit of his own life force energy into her.
Yeah, I guess she's the harbinger now. A harbinger.
Yeah.
Or,
But they don't ever say that.
no, they just give her a weird new form.
But I feel like they don't even show the transformation. Like if you don't
She
remember
just
the
shows
comic,
up.
how do you? Yeah, you're like,
No, but
oh,
I
so
mean,
she's got the
she
power.
doesn't even use the
Because later she's
harbingers.
Supergirl.
Yeah, that's what I said. She shouldn't even use harbingers like design or anything. They just give her this plain design with fire hair. Like,
Right.
are we so devoid of effort in this fucking place that we
Yeah.
couldn't even give her a design? We made
Now
her a
that-
blob.
Now that you said it that way, you can fully say this is an insult because this is an adaptation of the late great George Perez's work.
Bro,
And the fact that they wouldn't take his designs, use these seminal designs that were of this story, is an insult. They chose not to. This is an insult.
it's disgusting all the way through. Like I said, I mean, I'm pretty confident that I hate these movies. Hate them. I don't know I don't know what could happen in part 3 that could ever bring me back to say like, oh, well, it was all worth it. You know, like I think
Yeah.
Amazo, Supergirl, and the Psycho Pirate would have to fuse and become a whole new set of movies. Like,
I want a text crawl that starts with fuck all that, and then it's like
actually those first 2 movies
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Please ignore.
Yes. We're moving forward. We're going to do it in one. We're doing it live. Fuck it. We're doing it live.
Hate.
Oh, come on. We got to go back to Charles because Charles wakes up on another Earth and witnesses the Flash running through the city. As he hides from the Scarlet Speedster, he casts a spell to transfer himself elsewhere. He wakes up on an Earth where he is president, but people outside are protesting. He's suddenly visited by a being of immense power called the Harbinger, and she's there to recruit Psycho Pirate, knowing about his abilities to travel between realities. She explains if reality ends, Charles will have nothing to rule over, so he's like, yeah, I guess I'll go. When you put it that way, no slaves? Yeah. Okay, I'll go. Superman, looking over Earth 18, witnesses the oncoming antimatter wave. Back at the headquarters, the smartest minds begin powering the towers so they can phase that Earth out of the path of the wave. On Earth 17, a tower explodes, so the Monitor sends Kara to help Superman. Together, they repair the damage in time and are thanked by that Earth's inhabitants. Again, like another detail. It's like some weird, like irradiated Earth.
And then they imply that wherever he goes, he already is an existing character there. Like he becomes other characters that we know when he goes to these places.
You're talking about Psycho Pirate, because later on they call him like some other weird name. He's like, yes, I've gone by many names. I chose a dumb name for your dumb Earth or whatever.
He's like, and I was once the Rainbow Raider. Wait a minute.
Why?
What's the point of that? Oh, because the emotions.
No. You know why. we touched on it earlier. It's all connected, baby.
Oh no. Hold on a second.
Notice I can connect those dots with the Aquaman Nazi thing completely off my radar.
Pride Month. During Pride Month, you have no shame, man.
This whole outfit's a bit of a, he's making a statement. I'm telling you.
This is ridiculous.
So
I hate this.
Realizing Supergirl's been acting strange, Kal heads over to talk to her. She's incredibly pessimistic, but Kal lends a shoulder to cry on. The conversation is interrupted by the Monitor, who demands that they head back to the satellite and get ready to go out there and do more stuff.
Hey,
Commandy is sent to his Earth. Commandy's just ran, we're going to go with him for a bit.
See, here's my thing, right? We could cut right to Commandy, the last man on Earth, and just throw him in there with his trauma and shit. No time to explain that, which I don't have a problem with.
Right.
But we took 40 minutes for the cycle pirate. Mandy, the last boy on Earth, got
And he
to be
tries to go a little
himself.
bit into that here, right? That he sent back on his Earth. He's like, "Oh, what the hell are you doing? Sending me back on my Earth? There's nobody else here. I'm the only one here."
That's all it takes. That's all it
Yeah.
takes. 3 minutes, 3 lines, and we're good to go. That's what I'm saying. This should have worked. This should have been everything Crisis. This should have just been Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Did they ever explain why they sent Solivar to him, knowing it would trigger him, knowing that it would trigger?
And he fucking doesn't do shit. He doesn't do shit but protect him and die. So did we send him because he was expendable because we already have Grodd?
Yeah, they're like Solivar, you want to go help Commandy?
He said, who do we have extra of? What do we need 2 gorillas for? Do we need 2 gorillas? Do we need 2 gorillas? Send that one.
Yeah.
What the fuck was Ultra Humanite doing?
You understand? Because on the pecking order, Solivar is pretty damn low. The two have a conversation. Solivar implores Commandy to trust him. And trust seems to be the name of the game, because we go back to the Psycho Pirate. He's tasked with using his powers of emotional manipulation to sow calm through the multiverse. He claims the act is too difficult for him and manages to trick, I'm saying trick because come fucking on. Come fucking on.
So hard.
He's like, I just can't. Maybe if you gave me your wallet.
I was trying not to come at like some of those more tropey story aspects, because sometimes that's what you get in superhero stories, but like this is another example of like the absolute lack of fucking effort put into this movie. We didn't even try to disguise this trope. We didn't even try to write around it. They just did it. They just did this.
And you know what?
Bullshit.
This works 100% without the origin story. because we wouldn't think that he had anything negative to do. We wouldn't be like,
the monitor who monitors the multiverse. His job is to watch the multiverse. There's a dude who hops around universes just fucking shit up. Who you brought here knowing that he was fucked up, because he even tells him, oh, well, you can do this. Just does it.
By the way, here's my keys.
See, all right, spoiler for the original story. At least when he does it in the original story, he's aware of what's going to happen afterwards. He wants to be betrayed because it needs the power to be unleashed from his dead body to fucking protect the 5 remaining Earths.
He's where he ends up at the end of this film with Supergirl. He's already there in the comic.
Exactly. Like in his mind, he knows where he needs to be, and he's doing everything to get there. In this fucking story, he's stupid. He's a big fucking idiot who walks into these things and then questions why. Yeah. What's happening? Oh, Spectre.
My favorite part is the end, right? At the end, he's like, oh, shit, this was all me.
This fucking sucks, bro. This sucks so much. Fuck.
But again, I'm watching this, and when he just says like, "Oh, maybe if I had," no, forget about it. No, what is it? I mean, if I had some more powers, like godlike powers.
Man.
So we see that Pirate is up to no good, and later he's confronted by a powerful entity who calls himself the Anti-Monitor. What do you think about that conversation?
Another thing that bothered me too. I don't know what I am.
I guess you're the Anti-Monitor.
What the fuck? Where did they even get the idea? What made him come to that conclusion that he was anti the Monitor? Because he spoke to you differently?
Yeah.
What?
Do you think we get tried and true Anti-Monitor in this?
No, because they built a big ass, dumb ass fucking shadow robot to be the giant thing.
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot that could be that.
Oh, I can already see what the fuck is gonna happen. This anti-spirit monitor thing is gonna go in the robot body, and then he'll look similar to who the anti-monitor is in the comics. What the fuck was the?
We need the whale teeth. We need the whale teeth. Bring in the whale
obsession with putting your own twist or spin or putting a fucking explanation for shit that didn't need it. Touching and playing with shit that don't need to be touched. Who is this fucking guy who directed this?
Hold on, let me put it up again. It's something Wamister or something like that.
It's gonna stay something Wamister. He's never gonna have a fucking name.
Jeff. His last name is spelled Wamester.
Now check this out, Weenster, Wamister. If we fucking wanted to watch any of your original shit, you wouldn't be getting assignments to do Justice League cartoons, you fucking loser. Fuck this dude. I hate him. Actually.
I'm trying to see if he's done what else he's done, and it's just coming up a bunch of Tomorrowverse stuff.
Is this his first stuff?
15-year animation veteran, according to him.
Of what?
He's also listed on LinkedIn as the director of Warner Brothers Animation.
What happened to James Tucker? Did he die? Like, what the fuck?
It says director of Warner Brothers Animation, story artist, character designer, lifelong athlete.
I hate him.
Lifelong athlete. Why is that on the resume?
I hate him. I think I hate him specifically. Like, lifelong athlete.
Lifelong athlete. That's a choice for a descriptor there.
I'm bothered, man. I'm very bothered. I can't. As we're talking about it, I'm more bothered than I was when the movie ended because I'm just questioning.
I was hoping you had some answers to some of this stuff. I hate to put this on your lap.
I fucking wish I did, because then I would have enjoyed the thing. I know what I see where they're headed. You see well, in part 3 it'll come around. No, right. I'm pretty fucking sure that it can never come back up. It is sunk. It's at the bottom of the ocean.
It's like Cinderella puts on the glass slipper and then pulls out a gun and shoots everyone else in the room. And you go, why? I don't remember that part of the story. I'm sure I know this story. We covered Crisis on the podcast. We had to split it in two because it was fucking heavy. But we covered Crisis.
It's not even my personal attachment to the story, because that's what I tried to put it on when we talked about part 1. I was like, you know what? I saw people enjoyed this one and I didn't like it. Maybe it's because I enjoyed Crisis so much. But this one is structurally bad. It's visually bad. It's fucking plot is questionable. At every turn, there's a different example of the lack of effort that was put into this movie. I hate this movie.
It's all the worst choices. Because like even now, you know, he's standing in front of the anti-monitor. The anti-monitor questions why Charles would waste his talent saving heroes when he could have a universe himself to conquer and become a god. He doesn't need to be seduced. I thought he was an asshole. I thought that was the whole thing. I thought that was the whole point. He doesn't need to be seduced. If anything, he should go to the anti-monitor and be like, guess what?
He's destroying. I thought he was destroying the multiverse already. I thought he was killing a quadrillion fucking uncountable lives. I thought he was already an unspeakable evil. Why is he being convinced by this loser? Man, because at least in the fucking book, he was just a unexplainable god. He didn't even have a reason for being. He's like, when were you born? When the other one was born.
Yeah.
You know what?
This is what I do. This is just what I do.
He's a god. As a matter of fact, they have the Grant Morrison monitor explanation in this one. He's one of a species.
Right.
Then why did we even need an explanation? He could have just been another monitor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to find these story people. I just want to talk with them. I just want to have a talk.
This to me feels like drunk history. Like if you got a person to recount Crisis, but you gave him a couple drinks, and they're like, I think there's a part where he's like, yo, you want powers? And they're like, I already got powers, but you got more. He's like, yeah, I think, let me go check.
I don't know. I just think the more I think about it, the more spending all that time telling the Psychopirate story feels like disrespectful. Like, it's like, why? Like, you did this because you wanted to tell a different story than what they asked you to do here. You thought you can fit this shit in. You can have fun with this assignment. And all you did was fuck up my life. Here at home, you didn't think of me.
Are we still gonna get the Supergirl dies moment? Do they have room for that in the next episode?
Now. Like, what else are they gonna do? Like,
why do the big Spectre fight, right? Don't they?
Why else would they have spent all this time making Supergirl and the Monitor fucking be, he's my father. I killed my own father, and now she's gonna have to pay
her own father, who again, like, we don't even know how long she's been there. He actually asked him at one point. He's like, "Well, time is different." I'm like,
I don't have the capacity or care to fill in these details. So
Yes.
I will leave it as vague as
He's reading it off.
possible.
He's reading it off his hand.
Are you sure you want me to say this? This
Yes.
stinks.
Oh my God. No, I'm telling you that first run, he's like, and as you know, Kara, the antimatter, and I'm like, God, I get that some of this stuff is dry on paper, but y'all like making it real fucking dry, bro.
Telling you, it was made by people who didn't want to
content.
make it. It was made
Yeah,
by people who didn't want to make this movie. I'm fucking certain about that. He's the guy who's making the Tomorrowverse movies. Well, you know what? That makes a lot of sense because the whole Tomorrowverse is fucking dry, sauceless,
it
and
is dry.
devoid of care, devoid
Yeah.
of soul. It's soulless. It's heartless. Every movie to come out the Tomorrowverse has made me miss that new 52 movie universe. And I used to be
Oh
one of
my
the people
God.
that wasn't even high on it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was always impressed with them putting 14 movies in a universe and then deciding, okay, we're done. We're gonna blow that shit up. And I was
Yeah.
like,
In
damn,
the
bro,
most
that's
metal, using one of the most metal stories they could ever possibly use, and going there, like they didn't
it
have,
was
they went
awesome.
there.
Like
Yeah.
looking back on it, I missed that much effort and care. They cared
Yeah.
about their universe. They put pieces together and they threw them away based on what they cared about or what they thought you would care about, or what they thought would hurt you the most. These
And with
fucking people, bro, from the art to the story, they don't care.
it's heartbreaking because, like you were just saying, I remember fondly when I first watched Under the Red Hood. It got me into that character, and then it brought me into the entire world. I wanted it because it was so faithful. It made me want to go back, find the issues, find the story, and read it through with that sort of context. Good animation does that. It'll make you go, "Oh man, if it was this good here." I can see people watching this going, I'm never reading that book. Why would I
Why?
ever read that book?
Why? Nah, man. It's crazy that we're gonna live in the world where the CW made the better Crisis on Infinite Earths adaptation with like a $30 budget. Dog, they
And
fucking built that
Paragons, which are
shit.
also something they kind of made up
They
out of
made that shit up,
nowhere.
and you know what? By that point, I was like, I'll take it because it feels familiar. It at least felt like Crisis. Like it hit certain points that you feel like Crisis on Infinite Earths has to hit. Yeah, you know.
This is
Fuck.
the adaptation that killed Kevin Conroy is the best. Is the best.
The one that turned Kevin Conroy, bro, gave us Kevin Conroy as Batman in real life, and then made him evil.
And they killed him. And they killed him. I think with like a kick or something.
Those people are gonna outlap you, fucking guys.
The Ruby Rose Crisis on Infinite Earth.
What's this dude's name again? Because I want to talk to him specifically.
His name is Jeff.
Jeff, you ruined my birthday, Jeff. You ruined my birthday when you sat home and you told your fucking wife they gave me this stupid ass kids movie. I'm writing this garbage for work tomorrow. And you put that out like that with a smile on your face. You ruined my fucking birthday. Fuck you, Jeff. Specifically.
I think we're gonna get him on the show. See,
Get him on the show.
Pick his brain a little bit. See what's going on. See what's going on in there.
Bring a referee.
There you go. But we don't got time for that because we're back at the main base. You know, the base where all the other characters are. We're at the main base. Our heroes are getting frustrated because the antimatter wave is acting less like a wave and more like someone is actively causing them to happen. And it's targeting all the Earths. Realizing they can't stop further waves from coming, Mr. Terrific questions whether the remaining Earths can be transported to a place outside space and time. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this. Cool, let's go there. And Amara's like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe. We'll talk about that later. So, suddenly, Batman and the others on different Earths begin to get attacked by shadow demons. They show up suddenly and overwhelm our heroes as they cannot physically attack them. They're all being controlled by a single unknown entity and cannot be affected by anything but light attacks.
You know what's crazy? I also felt like, oh, wow, the shadow demons are here. A familiar Crisis thing.
Yes, yeah.
We'll finally do some Crisis things.
Right.
And oh, man, I don't hate this jump ahead of you.
No, go ahead.
We spent this time crafting the situation so that the Bat family can fight each other and the demons at the same time because I want to get convoluted now. No, you were too scared to get convoluted when it mattered. But
Right.
now in the fight scene,
One of my favorite parts is the Bat family fighting, and all the Shadow Demons like watching, like they're just chilling in the background, going, "Should we go in now? Nah, hold
right.
on, they about to
I think
cook."
that little one is swinging
I'm about
really
to say
hard.
that big one's gonna punch the little one any minute now.
You think they're gonna beat on that kid? They're all like adults. Oh, they're swinging on him.
Oh, bro. Matter of fact, my favorite part of this, I have a favorite part now that you just brought it up. My favorite part of this is when Damian throws his sword at at Joker, and I think Batman like smacks it away. He's like, it was the hilt was gonna hit him. He was like, it's not even gonna stab him. The hilt was gonna hit him. I'm like, okay, my boy got some skill.
I don't trust you. I don't know any of you.
I don't know you, stupid little bastard.
What was all right. So, generally you do something like that when you have something to say, right?
Yeah.
What are we trying to say about this Batman and the Bat family? Like, what are we saying here? Why would we have Bruce without his family come across these kids and he doesn't like realize like, maybe I need a Robin. Maybe I need family. Maybe I love these kids. He fucking actively hates them. Yeah. What are we doing? Like, what is the point of all of this?
And do we want him to learn that lesson here? Like in this event where we're going to destroy all this anyway.
I would never send kids to war. How many died? What the fuck is this?
Show him a mirror. Can you show him a mirror real quick? Show him who he's playing real quick. Oh yeah, I mean, I totally will send kids to war.
Oh, this is Batman now? Batman questions the concept of Batman now. The end of the multiverse, Batman decided to have a problem with the concept of Batman.
Yeah. That's what they want to take the time on.
This is another one of those things made by somebody who don't give a fuck about DC. That just questions the Batman concept. How many kids has he sent to war? How many died? You fucking loser. Yeah. I have no time. This is the time. This is the time when you want to ask this question.
Right. So yeah, we got some shadow demons on deck. Wonder Woman heads to a world where the Amazons have ruled the earth in efforts to help with the demons. Again, a very similar situation of like, they look like me, and so I'm going to go over there and help them. There's no other reason. He's like, I know Amazons, so I'm going to go to the world with Amazons.
That's my mom, I think. I'm going to go hang with my mom. Like, all right, man. Fuck it.
All right.
At least it's some crisis shit.
Send her somewhere, please.
At least we're doing some multiverse shit and people are dying at this point.
I'll say it because I don't feel like you're gonna. The fake Gal Gadot thing, I don't think it's working. I don't think it's working. Right. The vague, slightly European maybe accent they try to give her.
It's a Gal Gadot thing. It's a Gal Gadot thing, and it stinks because what are we even doing? So like. Did the other Amazonians have an accent? Did her mom? Did her mom have an accent? No. So why would this Wonder Woman have an accent after hundreds of years? Because this one is immortal, right? She's been around for a long time. She's from Earth too. So why would she have an accent? Where did she come from? But these are the things I try not to question because it's like this is not the
90
thing I
minutes.
have a problem with.
90 minutes.
I don't have a problem with that as much as I have a problem with the rest of the fucking thing.
Oh yeah, and we're getting there. So more appear. Oh, sorry. Batman has his hands full in Gotham, but is helped by members of the Bat family in a few flashbangs. More appear, and while in battle, it is determined that only incredible intense light can harm them. On Commandy's Earth, he's attacked by demons and using a light gun is able to defend himself while Solivar repairs their tower. The two stand side by side and do their best to defend from the shadowy intruders but are overwhelmed and injured. In a last-ditch effort, Solivar overpowers his light gun thing and it acts like a grenade and takes the demons out. Sadly, he is mortally wounded in the fight and passes away. Which also, when I think about that, he not only did he just get there, but he also destroyed a weapon. He's like, good luck, kid.
Wow.
Good luck.
Hey, did you notice I blew your gun up?
This for all that bullshit when I first met you. I didn't even know you, bro.
It's for being racist. This is for being racist against gorillas.
This would have got a full extra point if you would have been like apes together strong.
You know what though? You know what's fucked up? They actually did do a really cool they did a really cool Commandy the Last Boy on Earth like short in the
Yeah.
Tomorrowverse, and it had all this awesome Jack Kirby homage and reference, and it was done by someone who cared so much about Commandy the Last Boy on Earth and Jack Kirby in comics, and to put that character in this dry, devoid bullshit, and it feels like it. It feels like a whole other dude. Like, I'm back. I don't know
Yeah.
anything. It's dry, it's dull, and everybody looks the same.
And similar to what you said, what is to be learned here?
What are we saying?
What does this scene? So he didn't trust, and now he trusts, but that guy's dead now. So it's not like he gets another opportunity to trust anymore. And he already trusted. That's why he's on the team. Anyway, so Diana saves the Amazons on that faraway planet, but finds out that on this Earth, the men are slaves of the Amazons. Supergirl bumps into Psycho Pirate and gives him that name. She's like, oh, you like some kind of Psycho Pirate.
Psycho Pirate? Yeah.
So he introduces himself, and then he uses his powers to amplify her feelings of revenge after losing the Legion before walking away. With the Monitor's upgrades, he creates hordes of shadow demons for our heroes to fight. Kara, in her haste, gets swallowed by a shadow demon and wakes up back on Krypton with her mother. She sees Brainy, Dawnstar, who tell her that they have been absolutely erased from existence due to the antimatter wave, which is a fate worse than death.
Is it?
That's what they said. They were like, we're not dead, we're erased.
I guess in the DC universe where like you can probably come back if you die.
Yeah.
Now you're really dead. Well, guess what? That's just how death works, Kara. So welcome.
And also they're like, we're erased, we're never coming back. And I was like, I should have seen that Legion. If they're never coming back, I probably should have seen that film. So Pyrus does his best to pull Kara towards his side, using the Monitor's vague motives to sow distrust. He and the Anti-Monitor paint the Monitor as a sadistic spectator enjoying the destruction he sees. They tell her she can save them all, but she has to take the Monitor out once and for all, saying she's the only one who can save the universe. She sheds a tear, believing it to be true. So eventually and essentially, they just made her a woman, and then they gaslit her. Every man in this film gaslit her to their own end, and then they die.
and then presumably she will also die because of their gaslighting.
Yes, so she gets gaslit by both the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor and Psycho Pirate in this. Maybe a little bit from the robot. We haven't got into that, but yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. No agency. She has no agency in this. She's being used. She's a puppet in all this, which is a weird thing for your protagonist, but whatever. In Gotham, Batman uses immense firepower to take down the demons and verbally shreds the other Earth's Bat family for getting in his way instead of thanking them, which he should have done. He makes his point clear. He would never enlist kids into his one-man war on crime and says that their Batman is a fool for doing so. His accusation, coupled with Pirate's manipulation, causes infighting between our heroes, and they're too distracted to notice a new horde of shadow monsters heading their way. This is, I think, what you wanted to get into.
It just felt like we have all the pieces to do something really cool, and they were given to an absolute fucking know-nothing. They were given to a dude who doesn't know shit about the way these characters interact with each other, or the way they would if they were on the same Earth, and how it should be different because they're from different Earths. And he doesn't know a fucking thing. He doesn't know shit. I don't ever want to see this guy come out talking about how big of a fan he is of fucking DC Comics. You can eat my ass with that shit.
He's an athlete.
Oh yeah. He didn't have no time to read comics. He was doing fucking horse jumping or whatever the fuck athlete shit he's fucking doing.
I just love the idea of horse jumping.
That's actually a thing.
No, I agree. But
no, it really is.
This is yeah, because you do. Like it's almost elementary. This is the 335th episode of this podcast. We've seen enough and read enough to like the actual easy out is how many kids have died in this war. I can't tell you, but I can tell you how many we saved together as a family. As a matter of fact, Bruce saved us, each and every one of us. I was this and I was that and I was this, and now together we help save the city. And you may not understand, but we're never gonna let his vision down. And it's a wrap. and
I
it's
see
done.
what's gonna happen now. He's gonna go to the fucking Batman the Animated Series universe, and he's gonna meet a real Batman. He's gonna be
Yo,
like,
I hope Kevin Conroy beats the brakes, beats the brakes
"Oh,
off of this
see,
Batman.
as a matter of fact, you scared of putting kids in your war? Watch this shit. Get him,
Yeah,
Dick. Now we
yo,
jumping you. Now we're
oh
jumping you.
my
You see how
god.
you could have fought back if you had a friend?
Yeah, even in that animated series, they managed to do Barbara, Nightwing, and Tim Drake's
And
Robin.
Tim, we'll jump your ass right now.
Yeah.
Oh shit, is that Terry? Hey, I love you too. Let's get his ass.
Am I missing something from that? Is he just pulled from that universe and is on
He
this
just
earth?
showed up. He's the hint that we'll be seeing Kevin Conroy's Batman. Because if Batman Beyond is here and he's from the same universe as that Batman, then presumably that universe is affected somewhere.
But they
He's
didn't
like
think, they didn't think enough to understand that we're limiting the Earths now. So you have to name the Earths that exist, or else no one's gonna understand or care.
There's still so many left, I guess. That's well,
Golly.
that's so. I guess at this point in the original story, there would have still been enough Earths to be like, okay, well, this one just came from nowhere because we still have like, okay, they destroyed a lot of them, but there's still a lot of multiverse left. Now we're getting to the point where almost all of them are gonna get destroyed, and well, we see in the story it was supposed to be the fucking the Monitor getting killed, and then
Yeah.
the energy comes out from his body and protects them from the final five, and then you know,
Yeah.
so now I guess they'll come up with some more bullshit.
It will somehow still come down to Batman. He's like, I think I know how to do this. This random multiversal space technology. Watch this.
I figured it out. I hate
figured
this.
it out.
I
So-
hate my kids.
And again, like, I'm just like looking at the notes and laughing because why are you orchestrating drama that doesn't need to be there? There's already drama, and the drama is extinction. The main idea is absolute extinction. You don't need any more conflict in this. But back with Wonder Woman, Diana tries to get Hippolyta to release the men so they can help after being overwhelmed. When faced with the choice of dying or freeing the men, Hippolyta just chooses death and challenges Diana to a fight right then and there. She pulls out her sword and is like, yo, what's good? And again, I'm like, why are we doing this? Again, I get that the Psycho Pirate is getting people to you know, does it even make any sense?
Why is he making them mad though? Like, what's he?
I was gonna say that he's making them mad to limit their efforts in saving the multiverse, but they were never going to. They were never power enough to. That's the whole point. That's always been the
They
point.
couldn't get it. They couldn't get the fucking. They kept hitting the fucking tower to hope that
They don't
it would
need his
vibrate.
handicap. They don't need him to handicap the team. I don't understand why. Anyway,
They were already fucked.
Dr. Light and Green Lantern are also infighting for some reason until John snaps out of it. Suddenly, the disheveled old man who had been warning those of the incoming threat of destruction from before arrives, and he
How is he
reveals
blue?
himself. He reveals himself to
Right.
be John Constantine.
But why did he? He was all of a sudden blue, like Pariah.
Yeah.
If
Very
but he
strange.
had been, he had, or we had already seen him as
Didn't
an
hear
old
him
man.
say, "I've been some kind of a pariah."
Yeah, no, I always hate that. We already did it with Psycho Pirate, and now we did this stupid shit. And then he was blue out of nowhere. He was just blue. Somebody realized Pariah is blue, or she's got a blue motive.
Matter of fact, now that you've said it out loud, that has to be the true mark of a bad comic book adaptation. You're wrong. It did not happen twice. It happened 3 times. Psycho Pirate, Anti-Monitor, and Pariah.
That's the call mark. That's the fucking. That's like you fucking know
Hey,
when you
Jeff.
can see it.
Hey, Jeff, come here. Come up close.
Let me ask you again, Jeff. You sure you know anything about DC at all? You did you even do homework before you did your fucking assignment? I feel like there got to be somebody I can complain to. There's got to be some DC head
Right.
I can be like, hey, look at who you gave your shit to. Like,
Yeah.
this is fucked up. Oh,
Absolutely
man.
bonkers. And the thing is, this could have been. I understand that this universe is closing anyway because we're going to create one shared universe run by James Gunn. But you would think that you would want another job after this. And so you would create something, because a lot of the stuff from before, like I said, Under the Red Hood is detached from mainline continuity, but it's a beautiful film, and voice actors, writers, and all that from that film have been used in future installments because of the success of Under the Red Hood. I don't think this guy's getting a callback.
I wouldn't call him back. I wouldn't call him back for nothing, but I wouldn't shut this whole shit down. I'm glad James Gunn came to fuck their whole life up. I'm glad he shut this shit down and said, you could throw that out.
Yeah.
Start over. So I mean,
You gotta think he knew about this, right? And he was probably like, "Yeah, we're gonna push Creature Commandos up.
Like,
we're gonna move that up because this
is there a way
not...
to delete that or no? Yeah. No, on the schedule already.
Ooh, Watchmen. Oh, so that one.
Are we sure about this? Are we sure about this? We already dumped hundreds of thousands. I'm sorry.
Oh, bro, there's the whole second part of Watchmen is just gonna be the Black Freighter stuff. We already know that guy is gonna get an origin story. How did he get on the boat? How did he get on the boat, Yogi?
Oh, great.
He must have been some sort of psycho pirate.
Because he was a
he was a pirate. He was a rainbow raider, which also sounds like a slur.
It's kind of a
what are you, some kind of rainbow raider? Oh man. So the Monitor confronts Charles because Charles is just standing at the biggest window of this ship, and big things are emanating from him, negative energy. And the Monitor just walks on and goes like, "Why are you doing that?
What's going on?"
And the Psycho Pirate is like, "Oh yeah, bro, completely forgot to tell you. Met this other guy.
Evil.
He's called the Anti-Monitor, and we're gonna work together, and we're not planning to get stopped anytime soon." So the antimatter wave appears, swallows several Earths whole as the Monitor watches on in shock because he is the dumbest Monitor we've ever seen.
Yes,
He's then approached by the Spectre, someone that he does not believe exists, which also shows how dumb he is. Because now the man is here, right? He's like, bro.
He also, so the Spectre is, the wrath of God, but they can't say gods. Yeah. He just says like the presence.
Wrath of the universe or something? He does say the presence. He says the presence, which is their God, right?
The presence is happy with you. I think they like legit God though. Like his name was fucking God. Like the God. I mean, at least it wasn't Swamp Thing.
Oh, for the presence?
Yeah, I thought he was God. The Spectre is the wrath of God. And God is a dude.
Yeah.
God is some dude.
Who sends a guy in his undies as his wrath. His undies and a cape.
He said, go get him, you freak.
You go get him, you rainbow raider.
You psycho pirate.
You psycho pirate. So the Spectre basically gives him a great power with great responsibility speech of like, well, you're the only one that can do this, so you're gonna kind of have to. Claiming that a high price will have to be paid soon, and he will pay it. Constantine cleans himself up, and the rest of the heroes continue to fight one another. John Stewart overloads his land.
I didn't even know he didn't know who he was. I didn't know that John Constantine didn't know who he was. Did they fucking tell us that before? Because it was implied that he was wise.
Aren't we also? Isn't he supposed to be John, like the John Constantine from the other one? Isn't he?
He's the same John Constantine from the previous universe who's being making the Flash reset everything. But
maybe then he got his brain.
But he fucking told the Flash too, like, you have a part in this. He knew. Yeah. He knew who he was yesterday. So what the fuck did he not know today? Oh, John, you're right. I'm John.
Just a little bit too many points. Excuse me, black fellow. Do you happen to know who I am? This is like also absolutely ridiculous because he overloads his lantern to destroy the Legion of Demons and then puts his ring in the lantern. So like the real true defense they had against all this, he nukes and blows it up. He's like, I did that on purpose. Yeah, I did that on purpose. I meant to do that. It would have been, matter of fact, this would have got an extra half a star if he would have been like, oh, damn, I forgot my ring.
You think we needed that?
Yeah, because Constantine throws it, right? So Constantine would have thrown it, he would be like, oh, wait. Oh, damn. So now he is powerless on a world covered in shadow demons. Um, the Bat family comes to when they realize Bruce is in danger of being dealt with by the shadows and works together to free him. No lesson learned there. Um, Suddenly, the shadow demons retreat, but Batman's like, oh, nah, they're all going to the same place. And they are. Earth One's tower. All available heroes are transported to that location, but all seems lost as the demons join together to create a single creature of darkness. The usual attacks don't seem to affect it in any way, and the Monitor looks on, again, in shock. That's just all that man seems to do.
This is where I got weird because like they do become one being though, right? Like am I
Yeah, no, they do.
misremembering? Like that's
No,
the
they
thing that
create
happens.
a single creature, yeah.
But like
Oh, in the comic?
in another version of the story, I'm
I could
trying to
see,
remember.
I think maybe if I had to guess, it would have been the CW.
Gotta be because I vaguely remember a bunch of shadow things flying into each other and creating a giant shadow. I'm
Yeah.
just like I see when they became a fucking robot, like it grew in armor. I was like, oh man,
You have to
like
remember, and I don't know if you've seen it, but I just covered Batman Ninja last month, and like there's a bunch of monkeys who then join together and become one big monkey. So I'm just like having PTSD from these animated films. I'm like, what? Why? What are we doing here? Again,
I can
what are you
just
saying?
see, I can see this stupid fucking, and then the anti-monitor goes into the armor of the shadow demons and becomes himself, and it's just another fucking example of this dude creating things where they didn't need to be created. It's like
It's weird to me
kill me.
because it's like I don't think one big zombie is scarier than a million zombies.
Actually, was scarier when he was a million of them.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
certainly was.
Now you're just one big one. All right. Well,
Easier to fight. Let's all focus our energy on it.
and they do, and it's like it just. The usual attacks don't seem to affect it in any way, and the Monitor looks on, regretting his various mistakes. Realizing all of existence is about to die, the Monitor finally feels sympathy for those who are set to be erased. He tells the Spectre that he would do anything to save them, and the Spectre's like, "All right, let's see," and
This
then
is
disappears.
garbage, man. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
Okay. Uh, he disappears as Kara shows up to kill him. The shadow demon dons armor and Kara barbecues the Monitor. The now armored demon creates a massive ball of energy and stands before our heroes as the film ends. Those last two sentences are like at the bottom of the page, which just shows you how much at that point I was like, what? What? Like she dead
Dog.
ass barbecues the Monitor. Like she
Okay, but
fries his
like
ass.
again, what are we saying by turning the monitor like on its head, like flipping it and making him a moron, making him
I
a
see now.
stupid person? That's the exact opposite. Like the exact on the other side of the spectrum, the motherfucker ended up being a fool who watched
Yeah.
over the entire multiverse and then realized at the end of his life he was wrong.
Did they go to Uwatu with him?
No, no.
Because the only reason
Yeah,
why
I
I question
guess.
that, the only reason why I bring that up is because of the idea that like, um, what the arc they seem to be going at with him is like just humanity, right? Like he didn't think he'd fall in love with humanity, and now that he's seen humanity for what it is, he can't not interfere.
That
You know,
actually is straight up, yeah, like some bullshit Uatu shit.
yeah. So I'm like,
The
but
Watcher.
it doesn't fit in this story like that.
It's not who he is. He was a monitor. He was a library of information, and he didn't get involved because he didn't want to. It wasn't even like. It wasn't even like
On the table, yeah, it
uh,
wasn't even on the table.
you know what it was. Remember, Grant Morrison does it. He does the thing where Nixu Otan, I forgot his fucking name. It's the son of Marnovu.
Yeah.
Because this is Marnovu, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
because what's
Nixu
his face says it straight up. I want to say, Psycho Pirate at one point says his name straight up.
Marnovu. So
Yeah,
Nixu Otan's problem is that he got infected by the stories of mankind, and then he started feeling things like caring and shit, caring about their stories. Because Final Crisis is a story about stories.
right, right.
Fucking, but that's kind of what they were plucking at. with this Monitor, like he's infected by the humanity, but it, it, it was like you said, this Watcher element where he's like, "We are sworn not to be involved. Our culture forbids us." But like, no, that was supposed to be his own. His own. That's the way he was.
As a
Like,
matter of fact, in the original story, him hiring the heroes is like a ends justifying the means kind of thing. It's not a like I feel bad for you guys, so I'm gonna help you guys save this thing. It's like no, you guys are like there's no emotion there. Where again in this he's like stiff and he's like I now understand. I see them fighting. I regret everything I've done, and that felt uncharacteristic.
it's not only uncharacteristic, but just entirely goes against the story, goes against the Monitor, what he was, what he is. And like you said, it's a George Perez creation, Marv Wolfman creation. It kind of feels disrespectful to create your own thing on top of it. Like, what are we doing?
Or even worse, which even worse than creating your own thing on top of it, using something that was kind of like it, right? Like that's I feel like that's worse somehow. Like to go over to the over to the other side and be like, oh, so it's like what if? No, it's not like what if. It's not. No, I get it, bro. What if? I totally get it.
He heard Monitor. He took Watcher. That's what.
Hey, and they did Guardians of the Multiverse, bro. You know what I'm saying? We done did it. We did it. High fives all around. High fives. Jeff, we're talking to you, Jeff. Jeff, we're talking to you, Jeff. That's basically the film as it stands. You said the statement early on. Do you still agree that there is absolutely nothing that can save this? I have to watch the third just to see how badly this falls on its face. If there's any redeeming quality in this,
the only thing I'm watching the third for is the
Kevin Conroy voiceover.
The Kevin Conroy and the idea that if they're going to that universe, then maybe we'll be seeing other previous animated universes. Like, at least give me the fucking stupid cameo fucking session at the end of the damn trilogy. Like, at least bring together all the fucking universes and do like a mega fucking thing that I can clip out and be like, this is the best 5 minutes of DC animation I've ever seen. Like.
You think they're gonna have a endgame moment? You think this is all this is building to?
But they don't understand shit else. They don't understand shit from DC. If they already did Infinity War, they have people fading away. The Monitor's the Watcher now. So I'm fairly fucking sure like they're gonna do a moment where they call and then all the fucking versions of the animated DC heroes that we know are gonna show up. Like that's the least they could do.
They're like, here's Plastic Man from that short that we played that one time.
You piece of shit. Like, you actually owe me now. Like, you owe me gratuitous, like, fucking cameos. Like, I don't even want to hear your bullshit story. Like, I don't want nothing to do with what you're going to tell me now. Like, just get to the fucking point. I don't want it. I don't care.
And like I said, there's no comic relief in this. There's absolutely no one, like, on occasion just sliding a little joke in there to make us feel better about everything that's going on.
You know what this reminds me of? Injustice. The animated version of Injustice.
Yeah.
It's just like a fucking triple long version of Injustice. Yeah. I hate that movie too. Because of how good the story is.
Yeah, the story is actually amazing, but the story is fleshed out over years, right? 5 years or something like that before we actually get to the actual factual events.
But then you can structure that into a film really easily. Actually.
Oh, totally. Totally. But I'm saying, like, I remember playing the game and then reading the comics, and I'm like, there's so much depth here. Every question you would have had in the game, like, why didn't these people interfere? Why didn't this person speak up? It's all in the comic. And you see that it's not a snap of a finger, Lois dies, Superman goes rogue. You see all the building blocks build up to the castle that it ends up being. The film just starts with the castle, and now we just gotta kind of fucking deal with it from there. But it's sad. This is a year where we have no DC connected films coming out this year. The only DC film that will come out this year is Joker 2. A Joke's on You, which is what I'm calling it because it should have been called that. Joker 2, Joke's on You. So in a world where we have smothered the Arrowverse in its crib, where we are throwing the Tomorrowverse out the window. I there's got to be better on the other side, right? I guess that's what I'm saying. This is to get to the good on the other side, right? This is what
This James Gunn thing is what I've been hoping for. But excuse my daughter in the background.
No, you're good.
But when the rumor about this Watchmen thing was that, oh gosh, it was like part of what WB's animation's direction is going forward, like the way it looked. And I was like, oh no, like fuck.
Creature Commandos doesn't look to be in that art style, but maybe that's just a storyboard frame that we're seeing, and maybe it's all going to be that.
I also don't think James Gunn's animated shows are meant to like take the place of the animated schedule, the DC animated film schedule. Like the schedule is
where they look on the shelf and go, "What haven't we done?"
Yeah,
damn, what's still down there?
What story haven't we fucked up? They used to be so good, man. They used to just be like, we're going to animate this story. We only got 75 minutes. Fuck it. And they would at least try to get close to the story. Like they were just, the worst they would have to do is chop off edges because it didn't fit and then create something to close the edge off. And then we'll get back to what the story really is. And the trend started with the fucking previous universe too, where they created a continuity. So now they had to take stories that we love and fit it into the continuity. This shit is dreadful. This actually stinks. There is such an easy market that exists. Yeah. You take a story, you turn it into a movie. It's really fucking simple.
It's storyboarded for you already.
Holy shit!
The concept art is already there.
An obsession with making it a different experience, quote unquote. It's already a different experience. It's a movie now. We're watching it. It has music and voices and explosions and fucking direction in it. Bro,
your challenge is to keep up the pacing. It's not to change the story. That's your challenge in this because it's shorter, so you have to,
The Japanese animation industry is done so well. Like just being like, here's a manga and here it is animated. Did you like that? And the most they do is like we almost caught up to the mangas. We gotta make some shit up in the middle, and you can ignore it if you want. It's not fucking connected to nothing. Like fine.
And this isn't even thoughtless fun like My Adventures with Superman, right? Where like a completely different universe, completely different designs, completely different, parts in that, but it's fun.
and they care because they're remixing things and bringing it like. It surprises you when you find out, like, oh shit, it's this thing that's familiar to me. I love it, and I love you for doing this. I can't believe it. They're taking a thing that's already familiar to you and fucking it.
Yeah, in front of you. In front of you and making you tape it. And you remembered how much you loved it. Damn you, Jeff.
This is painful. It's heartbreaking. I was so excited, and people knew better. Like, everybody knew better. I knew better. I even said, like, I know I shouldn't be excited. But damn it, there's 3 of them. They said it's a Crisis on Infinite Earths animated trilogy of films. That sounds like the greatest.
We're 2 down.
Oh my God, we're 2 down, and I'm fucking negative in emotional payoff. I'm like down. My bank account is overdrawn.
This was a rough watch, and I remember after finishing it, like putting in the group chat, like, this is a little bit dry, like, damn, it's dry. And then you came out, you were like, this is garbage. And I'm like, okay, I can say it's garbage too. I didn't want to, preempt you too badly with it. I wouldn't show this to someone I love, is what I'm saying.
If someone I love showed this to me, I would walk out of the room. I would storm out, actually. They'd be like, what's wrong? I want you to understand that you offended me. Even innocently. You hurt me. Like we were
talking about, like, there's adaptations, that it's almost like when your kid draws something. Yeah, maybe it doesn't have all the fingers it's supposed to have, and maybe the hair is a different color, but the heart is there. So it carries it through. This is heartless. It doesn't matter what happens on here. There's no action scene you point to and go, that was badass. There's no quote in this where you're like, oh, that's amazing. There's no like monologue about, how many lives the Joker has taken and why you're going to let him live any longer. Or I love when Damien's like, you think you're his son, but I'm his real son. You understand? Like all that shit there. Like None of that. None of that. And what's even greater is that this is a like I said, this was a rough watch. It was a rough cover. It was a rough taking notes. But things are going to get infinitely easier because next week Yogi will be returning and we'll be covering the very easy story, Identity Crisis.
Oh yeah. So very easy, actually. So easy. No controversy to be found. Actually,
they're gonna get Identity Crisis and they're gonna get like Lin-Manuel Miranda on it. I know we figured it out. We know we cracked this. We cracked the code with this. Bonkers. Absolute bonkers. You ready to put this to bed?
Please.
Okay. Well, that's the end of this recap and review, but we have so many episodes of the Major Issues podcast that live and breathe at comicbookclique.com. Comicbookclique.com is the one stop for everything Comic Book Clique. That's our merchandise, articles written by us, and our merch. You can hit that Shop TeePublic link. It'll take you to our TeePublic store, or sorry, Shop CBC link. It'll take you to our TeePublic store where we get a kickback of anything you guys purchase on there. If you hit that Support CBC link, it'll take you to our Patreon, patreon.com/CBC Clubhouse, where for as little as 10 cents a day, $3 a month, you can help us keep our lights on here and afford the hardware and the software that we need to keep providing you guys content free of charge. We do this each and every week. It's a labor of love, but you know, any kickback will definitely help. If you can't help us out monetarily, consider rating and reviewing us on iTunes. It's the quickest way we can grow as podcasters and find out what you like and what you don't. When people are looking for this kind of content, they want to pick the highest rated podcast because people got time. You know, they don't got time, so they want to, you know, they want to get on it. So yeah, quick way. Shoot us a review, write something nice, 5 stars. I think we are pretty high. I think we're like 4 point something. So, you know, keep doing what you guys are doing there. But we are seeing an influx of new people joining the channel, joining the podcast, joining us on social media. We're actually live on Facebook, facebook.com/comicbookclique, Instagram at comicbookclique. You can use the hashtag comicbookclique to talk about the newest, hottest, latest, and greatest things that come to comic books and comic book media. We're also at Major Issues CBC on Twitter and at Major Issues CBC on Twitch. But that influx does not happen without the mega powers aligning, because Comic Book Clique as of April 1st has been in conjunction with DirtSheet Radio, the juggernauts of live coverage of not only professional wrestling but everything pop culture. Yogi, do you want to tell the people how they can find all of that?
DirtSheet Radio, that's us. You can find DirtSheet Radio all over social media, on all types of social media. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Literally, just type in DirtSheet Radio, and we're the only thing that's gonna pop up because we're so unique.
Don't you love that now? I love that we just do like there's no like DirtSheet Radio. I don't gotta put like Major Issues, Comic Book Clique, George Serrano, get all that to come up. It's like nope, Major Issues Podcast. What? We own this space now.
Drop it. That's us. That's literally us. DirtSheet. As a matter of fact, even if you just search DirtSheet, we'll show up in that shit.
That's tight.
That's fucking awesome.
That's so tight.
DirtSheet Radio, literally on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We'll have a Twitch soon. We're everywhere. Please, YouTube. We're on YouTube. We do live streams 5 to 6 days. We do live streams 6 days a week. Sunday through Friday, and some Saturdays. Actually, most Saturdays. So honestly,
you'll be doing it this Saturday.
Yeah, shit. This Saturday.
This Saturday. In old Scotland for Drew.
If you're into pro wrestling, we do live streams after Monday Night Raw, after Tuesday Night NXT, after Wednesday Night Dynamite, after Thursday Night Impact, after Friday Night SmackDown. We do a news show on Thursday mornings. We do 3NT Wrestling on Sundays, and NXT Level Up on Saturdays. It's coming soon.
Wow, y'all covered all the bases.
Every goddamn thing. We're probably got to get. We got to start doing shows for Japanese wrestling. We'll. I mean, it's only right. The web is spreading out. We gotta figure things out. But there's so much content.
Yeah,
go find DirtSheet Radio in conjunction with Comic Book Clique. And while you're at it, visit comicbookclique.com.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
It's the one stop for all things, both Comic Book Clique and DirtSheet Radio. We're cohabitating there. Sometimes, you know, I do the dishes, he cooks dinner, but you know, it's always a fun time over at comicbookclique.com.
It's cozy.
And Thing is, man, just like the Monitor, I've been to the future where I know that Comic Book Clique and DirtSheet Radio become the latest and greatest things in their respective fields, but I can't tell you how we do it because it was mess up the timeline, and next thing you know, Jeff Wamster is going to direct the next Justice League film, and nobody wants that. Trust me. Dwayne Johnson's already calling him. Nobody wants that at all. So make
Dwayne
sure that you
Johnson.
guys, yes, make sure you're on the bandwagon before the bandwagon gets full, because it's gonna get full, and then we can't hear you from the back. So make sure you got a seat up front because this thing is about to take off. But yeah, I guess the only thing left to say now is my name is George Serrano, aka the Don.
And this is John Escudero, aka Yogi.
And this has been our Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Part 2, recap and review. And remember, whether you're a pirate who's a bit psycho, a harbinger of things to come, or just want DC animated films to go back to where they were, remember that we are the Clique, but also remember that you, you, Jonathan Escudero, who Yogi, but the very own Yogi, from everything you've done, from everywhere you've been, from every place that you've gone, every hill that you've conquered, every obstacle that you blasted past, has now become the shepherd of all these lost sheep. Whether we're retarded or not, that doesn't matter, but we're here. And you know some of us are. You have led us all to the promised land, and it just continues to grow. You are the light in the darkness. Instead of cursing the darkness, all you do is light the rest of us up, and now we are the brightest that we've ever been. My friend, my brother, happy birthday. Thank you for everything you do for us, but personally, thank you for everything you do for me. I love you, bro.
I love you too, man.
And always remember that you, yes, you, are worthy.